ตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังนะมัสสามิ Blessings and welcome to Easter Retreat 2021. The theme of this retreat is making your mind firm in merit. I think this is a good theme to reflect on and practice on. Many of us who've come to Buddhism later in life, we've maybe read books or maybe been born into a family where the Buddhism is the family religion. We've read books or done meditation retreats on Buddhism. And then when we come to practice meditation, we've got a lot of information and concepts, ideas about Buddhism and so on. And we come to practice, often the term merit or making merit, it becomes something of almost like a derogatory term that many meditators look down on as something to do with rituals and customs and offering food to monks and all kinds of things like that. And it's often seen as something that's almost like a sideshow or some sort of secondary part of Buddhism, and the real practice is one of meditation, developing mindfulness and samadhi and wisdom through insight, through the practice of vipassana and so on. So this word making merit often kind of gets pushed to the back of our minds or our thinking or the way we practice. Whereas something I found out and grew to appreciate over the years is when you come to live and practice in the Sangha, you get perhaps a slightly wider appreciation of the whole aspect of what we call merit or making merit. And that even though there is a ritualistic part to making merit and there are all kinds of customs and practices that you'll find in temples and monasteries and so on, when you actually live as a Sangha member, monk or nun or trainee, anagarika, in a monastery, you start to notice that this term merit, which literally means goodness and the happiness that arises from goodness, is a very broad term that applies to many things in our life. But all those things we call merit and cultivate as merit making, they come back to the heart, the human mind. And the practice of making merit stems out from the human heart and developing, cultivating the heart in a good way. And in a monastery where Sangha live and people visit regularly, there's so many aspects to what we call merit making going on for one to both participate in, appreciate, witness, and learn from, particularly from other people and what's going on around, but then also coming back to one's own individual practice. One's opening up to see that this term merit is something that pervades our whole life and pervades the Buddhist teachings, and it's much broader or greater in scope than just a ritual of offering food to the monks or receiving a blessing, sharing, dedicating merit to the dead and so on. That's a very commonly practiced thing, but the actual qualities that the Buddha was referring to that we call merit or meritorious are much broader. So we're here to make our minds firm in merit. In short, that means making the mind firm in the practice of dana, generosity, the practice of sila, in the cultivation of harmless speech and actions, the cultivation of what we call samatha bhavana, developing mindfulness and states of calm, samadhi, through the practice of meditation to bring the mind to calm, peace, and a vipassana bhavana, developing insight into the true nature of phenomena, physical phenomena, mental phenomena. All of this is we call making merit. So in short, we say dana, sila, bhavana. But making merit is all about training this one mind, this one heart, and developing many, many qualities out of the goodness of the heart. So it's not simply a one meditation technique, although we may focus on one meditation technique in this retreat, say the practice of anapanasati, or the practice of developing insight into the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, or the selfless nature of phenomena. We might focus on particular techniques on this retreat, but I hope that you can also appreciate that the aspect of making merit, it's very broad, and there's many, many different kinds of merit that we're making, and they're all supportive of developing this one mind in merit. Developing the goodness, the good qualities of the mind, developing true inner happiness, developing ourselves as human beings for the better, for the good. The practice of making your mind firm in merit covers all of that. There's one time the Buddha was wandering in northern India with a large group of monks in one area. And in that area at that time there was a famine. Rain hadn't fallen much, so people's crops were drying up, producing very little. So there's very little food in the community. And the Buddha came to one village with his large group of monks, and the village headman came out to see the Buddha and express his concerns. He said, "Well, you've arrived with a lot of monks here and you all need to eat. Isn't this going to put pressure on the local community who are suffering a famine? They're in difficulty, there's not much food around." As if he was to say, this is not the right thing to do for the Buddha. And the Buddha just spoke very truly, very directly, and said, well, I've recollected in 91 eons, over 91 eons that have preceded this time, in every lifetime I practiced making merit through offering dana, practicing generosity. In every lifetime this has brought great benefit, great result. And for all those others who have practiced it, it's brought great benefit and result to them. Brings them good health, happiness in body and mind. It's brought them wealth, good fortune in so many ways that I think this is a very good time for people to make merit when they're suffering difficulty and in experiencing a famine. Which the village headman sort of realised maybe there's a point to it. It's, we meet difficulties in our life. Maybe it's when you meet famine or pandemic or any kind of personal health problem or personal difficulties in your life, the tendency, your first reaction may be to clam up, become introverted, more self-centered, and say there's nothing I can do at this time, and we sort of let our stress or our difficult situation overwhelm us, and some people give up or don't know what to do, become paralyzed because of the difficulties they're facing. But the Buddha encourages, when we face difficulty, to make merit on every level. And so, yes, in Buddhism, the beginning of making merit tends to be practicing generosity, giving, sharing what we have with others, giving others support, kindness, knowledge, time, energy, as well as material things. Learning to share, learning to rise up at times when our life is difficult. It's good for us to turn to developing skillful qualities of mind, merit-making as it were, particularly at those times when we're facing difficulty. It doesn't mean to say when things are going well we should stop making merit, but it's easier to make merit when things are going well. It maybe is more natural and it's more normal to think of making merit in different ways when things are going well. But particularly when things are not going well and we're facing problems, which is quite a lot of the time, that's the beginning of point of where we should be making merit. So practicing generosity at a time when we're feeling stingy or we're feeling we haven't got anything to give or share is often the best time to practice generosity. The same with sila, precepts. When we feel under pressure, we're weak, we're angry, we're ill, we're weighed down by the burdens of life. Maybe the very time you think, I can't keep precepts, I can't be mindful of what I say, I do, I want to let off steam maybe by taking our suffering out on others. But that's the very time that we can make merit by keeping precepts, and we'll make more merit, all the more merit at those difficult times when we're challenged or provoked. To keep our precepts at those times is the greatest merit. Or when it comes to meditation, we've joined this meditation retreat. And you may find, the very first time you sit down to meditate, you receive the instructions to follow your breath, be mindful of the breath, and straight away your mind is all over the place. And you might feel disheartened, disappointed. Oh, I wanted to do a meditation retreat, but my mind is totally all over the place and I can't concentrate, I can't be mindful of my breathing. You might feel, I want to give up. That is exactly the time to practice meditation and develop these qualities of mindfulness and wisdom and patience and compassion. At those times when your mind is not peaceful, your mind is not following the instructions, that's the time to train, to practice in making merit through cultivating the mind, through bhavana, samatha bhavana, calming the mind, vipassana bhavana, developing insight. So this term, making merit, covers so many things, and it's often at those times when we least think of making merit that the most merit can be made. So we have a global pandemic now, and in some parts of the world lots of chaos, suffering, difficulty. The very time to make merit, the very time to meditate. If your life is facing problems and difficulties, you have all kinds of hardships, this is the right time to join a retreat and do some meditation. Because this quality of merit, on whatever level we practice, whether it's on the level of generosity, virtuous behavior, meditation, it has the quality of uplifting the mind. One single thought that is a meritorious thought, say a thought of kindness, generosity, a moment of mindfulness, a moment of insight, is uplifting your mind, bringing it up out of its experience of dukkha, suffering, stress, to something better, if only for a moment. So this is why the Buddha encourages to make merit over and over again through our life. He said to the monks, don't be afraid to make merit. That applies to all of us because it uplifts our mind. Whatever else is going on in the world around us is a good place, everything is smooth, going easily, or in the world around us is in chaos and conflict. Merit is our true resort to developing meritorious action through body, speech and mind, dana, sila, bhavana. This is the way to deal with it, to face the difficulties of life. And ultimately, to cultivate the qualities of the Eightfold Path that will lead to the complete ending of stress and suffering, leads to Nibbana, to the state of awakened knowing. This is all making merit. So this is something, just setting the right tone, the right attitude for the retreat, is that we're making merit on this retreat, and everything matters. Everything is part of making merit. It's not simply the ritualistic part of going to a temple, offering food and other things to Sangha, but it involves chanting, meditation, developing mindfulness in every posture, developing wholesome states of mind, thoughts of kindness and compassion, bringing up mindfulness, reflecting on the Dhamma. This is all merit. So this retreat, you're all at home. You're not here in the monastery with us. It's just a small group of people here. Most of you are at home. But that doesn't prevent you from using these next 3 days to make merit through practicing the Dhamma. You've undertaken the 8 precepts, which is a very powerful kind of merit to make at home, because your home is a place that's not designed for keeping the 8 precepts. We design our homes to be places of comfort. Nowadays, you could say to the point of indulgence. We have nice, big, comfy beds. We have a kitchen full of food. We have all kinds of home entertainments and distractions, comfortable furniture, computers, phones. People come around, and we're used to having all kinds of social interaction at home. It's not designed for the 8 precepts, but to help us for these 3 days, we're creating that sense of our home as a place of practicing Dhamma. And the precepts give us some framework for that. If you undertake sincerely to keep the 8 precepts, you're simplifying your day, cutting out food in the evening, dedicating yourself to the practice of meditation, sleeping enough but not indulging in sleep, not having any sexual behavior, not drinking, being mindful of your speech, how you treat other people. If you have ants or bugs coming into your kitchen, you're not going to kill them because you're keeping the precepts, and so on. By sincerely undertaking the 8 precepts, already you're raising the level of your mind. You're bringing up meritorious qualities, the qualities of contentment, harmlessness, mindfulness, restraint, sobriety, wakefulness. So many good qualities are encouraged by keeping the precepts. And I think you'll find over 3 days, if you're sincere in holding to your precepts, it will develop a nice feeling in your home, even if you have other family members not practicing, not involved in the retreat. You won't be doing anything to hurt them or disturb them. You'll just be quietly getting on with your practice. And that's a great gift to the people around you. And all forms of merit making tend to be a gift back to the world, to our families, society. Whether it's literally the gift of generosity, helping others and giving things to others, sharing what we have with others, or the gift of peaceful, harmless behavior, keeping the precepts, holding your tongue when you want to say something unwholesome, unskillful, being careful of your actions not to harm others, and living in a very simple way. This is a gift for your family to see and experience, as well as yourself. And then dedicating your time these 3 days to developing mindfulness in all postures through the day, constantly bringing your attention back to your posture, to your breathing, to reflecting on Dhamma. This is a gift to your family. If they see you or are aware of you in some corner of the house doing your meditation, and someone says, "Oh, where's Mum? Where's Dad? Or where's so-and-so?" And you say, "Oh," or they say, "Oh, they're just doing their meditation. doing their thing in the corner of the house or whatever, at the very least it brings that up in their consciousness as well as yours, that there are people who dedicate 3 days to meditation, developing their mind, making merit in this way, not harming anyone, just getting on with their practice. In a subtle or maybe a very direct way, this is helping the people around you. When they see you, they witness what you're doing. You're raising the level of consciousness in your own house by raising your own personal consciousness, bringing up the merit, the dana, the sila, the bhavana. It will improve the atmosphere around you. You know, we talk a lot about helping the environment these days, being more kind to the world, looking after the forests, the environment, reducing pollution, reducing carbon emissions and so on, all of it, which is very good. But where do we help the environment? Where do we begin to help the environment? Well, it's right here at home, isn't it? So a great way to improve the environment is start at home with a practice of keeping the 8 precepts for a few days, dedicating time to meditation and mindfulness, listening to Dhamma. The environment in your personal space is going to improve immediately. Your personal space becomes more peaceful, more composed, more calm. And out of this, one of the fruits of merit making on these different levels is that we become wiser through the experience of the practice. Wisdom in Buddhism is understanding suffering, its causes, and how to end suffering for ourselves and even sometimes for sharing with others how to do it and what we understand. That's wisdom, and wisdom comes out of merit making. You know, we gain wisdom through practicing generosity. You learn how to do it, how to help other people skillfully. You learn the value of it by sharing what you have, realizing you can let go where before you were attached or feeling possessive, stingy. You can let go and you can develop happiness without depending on so much on material comfort and material things. You develop wisdom by understanding the value of sila, peaceful behavior, not hurting others through your speech, your actions, restraining, composing your mind, your actions, your speech. You gain wisdom because you see the value of it. You see how it helps you, how it helps others. Then you gain wisdom from calming the mind, developing mindfulness through sitting and walking meditation in particular, because this is a retreat. Your mindfulness is improving little by little. And as those moments of mindfulness join up, become more connected, then states of calm, samadhi arise. Your mind becomes more stable. Inner peace, happiness, well-being arises. And out of this, the deepest kind of wisdom can arise. The wisdom of seeing the true nature of the way things are. That all physical, mental phenomena are impermanent, subject to change. Everything is changing, but so often we don't see it, we don't notice, and then we get caught up by the changes that take place because we get a lot of dissatisfaction when we lose things we want or we don't get what we want, and we get unpleasant experiences that we don't like. This is all the changing nature of the world we live in, but we often don't see it and don't see what's happening, so we suffer. But when the mind is calm, we can investigate and contemplate change. We can witness change. We can understand the changing nature of body and mind and the world around us, so that the mind can be at peace with change through understanding. In the same way as we witness change, the changing nature of phenomena, we can witness the inherent dukkha of this world because it's subject to change. We can bring our thinking and our mind in line with the truth by saying, this physical body is constantly changing. It's unsatisfactory. It won't bring me happiness forever. brings me some pleasure, some happiness, but it also brings some pain, especially as change takes place with aging, sickness, heat and cold, and so on. And the selfless nature of phenomena. What is impermanent, subject to change, unsatisfactory, constantly breaking down, it's not a self that we can control and say, this is me, this is myself, and order to do what we want. We can't order the world to be the way we want because it's subject to change because of causes and conditions. We can't order this body to be the way we would like it to be because it's subject to causes and conditions. Even our mind, we can't keep in one state of bliss all the time because it's subject to causes and conditions, and so on. We're reflecting on these three characteristics of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and the selfless nature of physical and mental experience. This is giving us wisdom. You might say wisdom is the highest merit. When your mind comes in line with the Dhamma, the truth, it's no longer deluded, caught out by experiences, because we know this is the way things are. And something we reflect on all the time as we practice meditation, say over the next 3 days. Just contemplate how your changing experience is constantly giving you an insight into the truth. Nothing lasts in this world. Doesn't mean to say there's nothing here. We're here, our homes are there, our family around us may be, the things of this world, they're there, but they're constantly changing and nothing lasts. That's insight. That's wisdom that sees through delusion. That normally we have this delusion that we see everything as kind of permanent, a permanent reality under our control, and we identify and attach and cling to everything as self. My body, my house, my family, my possessions, my country, my home state, my this, my that. Everything that we identify with is in a constant state of change, and most of the time we're missing that. So when change comes up, often it's unpredictable, unplanned, we suffer. Things come our way that we weren't expecting or didn't want, or things that we take for granted suddenly have disappeared or been lost. But when we practice continuously like this for a few days, we have a real chance to see how we delude ourselves by clinging on to things as permanent, as self, as our view of the world, seeing everything that we identify with as a self, as something permanent under our control. We've got a chance to investigate that. What helps us to do that, to realize the true nature of phenomena, is the merit we make. It's like this cushion for the mind that helps us to understand even the deepest truths that we don't really want to own up to or accept. Say the fact that everyone we love and like is getting older, gets sick, one day must die. These are the hardest truths for humans to accept. But what is it that helps us to accept and really see those truths is the merit we've made through dana and sila and bhavana, listening to the Dhamma, practicing the Dhamma, because it brings us a sense of well-being. And merit is goodness, it's happiness that allows your mind to accept truth. When we are suffering and stressed, it's much harder at that moment to accept the truths of life. So the Buddha encouraged us to develop merit, and particularly when we're suffering. Practice the Dhamma, practice dana, sila and bhavana, to bring the mind out of its obsession or its attachment to suffering, to something better, a place that's better, where you have wholesome dhammas, skillful dhammas arising in your mind, even if, say, you're ill or you're tired or worn out from life. when we turn our mind to that which is meritorious, thoughts that are based in generosity, virtuous behavior, mindfulness, wisdom, we're pulling the mind out of our suffering, and we're able to accept the nature of this world is impermanent, unsatisfactory, not self. I used to live in Thailand, and many of our teachers there, they say when somebody is ripe for understanding the Dhamma and letting go of all their attachment, it's because their merit is full, it's complete, it's well developed on all levels. Not just the level of samadhi or insight, but on the level of dana and sila as well. All the aspects of the Buddhist path have been cultivated to a point where they're complete. And this completion of developing the path brings a sense of fullness or completeness to the mind. The mind isn't needing anything outside. Even, the Buddha has been internalized. The Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha has become an internal refuge when you develop these qualities through the path. So they say somebody who's developed the Eightfold Path, their merit has become full. And part of that fullness is an inner feeling of well-being, whatever's happening. Even if one is aging or sick or one has problems with other people or the world around, the mind inside has this sense of fullness, completeness, not wanting or needing anything else because it's full of merit. That fullness has come through regular practice. We're doing 3 days of meditation retreat here to really top up our merit for 3 days. After that, maybe we have to do other business, but try and see that our practice grows and our hearts grow through topping them up little by little, little drops or little moments of merit. Every moment of mindfulness you bring up, every time you reflect and see some aspect of the Dhamma, every time you have a kind thought to the people around you, every time you practice generosity, these are like drops of merit slowly filling up our heart, our mind. One day, your heart, your mind is going to be full of that merit. Just like the Buddha said, you have an empty jar and you put it outside. When it rains, little drops of rain gradually fill up that jar to the point, sooner or later, it will become full of water. In the same way, you keep practicing, making the effort to bring up mindfulness, to reflect on the Dhamma. Your mind is gradually going to fill up with merit and fill up with the qualities that lead to liberation, freedom from suffering and stress. So every effort we make on this retreat is worthwhile. However futile or frustrating it is, however much your mind doesn't listen, doesn't want to practice, however sleepy you feel, however tired you are, however much stress you brought into this retreat from your life over the last weeks and months, all kinds of accumulated problems that are coming up as you sit here meditating, don't worry. Every wholesome effort you put in is filling your mind up with merit little by little and replacing the more negative, stressful thoughts that the baggage you may have brought into the retreat. So you're gradually balancing the account, bringing up the merit and reducing the negative thoughts through your efforts. So even one moment of mindfulness is better than nothing. So I'll be giving you more teachings over the next 3 days, and I hope you'll put your effort into this practice of sitting, walking meditation, listening to Dhamma, chanting, reflecting on the Dhamma. All of this is the merit we're doing, and we're making our mind firm in merit. So I'll be encouraging you in that. Maybe for now, I'll just say this much, and then we'll have a period of quiet sitting meditation until the bell.